Hello, viewers. I'm SB, and welcome back to Wantless, where some time has passed. It is now day 65. I figured, grinding old tier 4 patients probably wouldn't be super interesting for people to watch. So I did a lot of that off camera. Let me just update you real quick on where we are. I have advanced our mind tree just a couple of points. I didn't even pick up cynicism. I prioritized getting to insidiousness here. So in theory, we can stack up multiple identical afflictions, or I don't know. I haven't played with this unlocked at all. I have no idea exactly how it works. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that shakes out. I have upgraded our equipment a fair amount. So first of all, I got a telepathic connector that has a very small amount of plus discipline on it, and you know how I feel about that. I got another one of these coats that has slightly less health loss, I believe, than the other one, and also a bonus to summon hit damage. And at this point, summon hit damage is almost all of our damage. That's very nearly just plus 11% damage output. So I feel pretty strongly about that. Obviously, we're still running these, we're still running those gloves, but I have managed to make a couple of upgrades to the skills. First of all, I fought an enemy and received the ability to summon a hunger, and I thought, that's interesting. We should play with that. So I haven't done a mission with this yet, but this is our 4th summon now. It causes the crafted skill to have a 9-turn cooldown. I decided to replace the Bombardier with this because I'm having a lot of trouble getting the Bombardier to hit things reliably. And if this ends up on cooldown for long periods of time, because our rogue only has a 1-turn cooldown, we could just end up with multiple rogues to stay at our 4 allowed summons at a time. And I think that would be okay. I don't actually know how good the hunger is going to be, but I thought it would be interesting to try it, and it turns out to be basically free. This skill is only 470 discipline. It actually earned me back some discipline over running the kind of unimpressive Bombardier on our bar, and I have not figured out a thing to do with that yet. We have Repel 1 here. What is the difference between Repel 1 and Repel 2? It's more tiles and a little bit more discipline weight. Honestly, 5 tiles is already almost always more than I actually need. I'm not going to bother with that. I have been able to upgrade just the numbers on a couple of our skills. You can see here the strike that's in our Wasp Lost Missile is a little bit better now, and it has some... I found a blue one that has some interesting attachments on it. And yeah, stuff like that, mostly. Higher quality damage output on a lot of our stuff. Just kind of refining the smaller qualities. One other big change is that I got a legendary flow drop that has the trait enemies do not benefit from this effect's flow, and with a bunch of discipline cost subtractions, it's actually reduction. Reduction's the word I wanted. It's actually made the skill considerably cheaper because those apply to the skills cost as a whole. So we now have a fluid, bubbling, stupefying bulwark horror rod that is still doing really great work. We lost the oppress effect for that, and I think it's totally fine. Aside from that, yeah, I think we're just a little bit stronger. We have more stats. We have more health. Like I said, our coat's not doing as much harm to us anymore. And now we have this ability to stack multiple levels of poison. Actually, we have a little bit of discipline left, like I said. Can I just replace this with a better quality of poison, or does that push us way over? It really does. It really does push us way over. Holy hell, modifications to this skill are so expensive. I mean, that's the cooldown doing that. Also, you might have noticed that this is a little bit inefficient. The game's complaining about it, a 5-turn cooldown on a thing that has a minimum 9-turn cooldown. In theory, we could make this skill more efficient or get more power bonus out of it if we had a greater cooldown efficiency synapse. But the fact is, I just don't own one because I haven't really been interested in the longer ones. So this skill could still receive some love. Maybe we end up getting the cost even lower, and then we do something else with all the... I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do with the leftover discipline, but I do think it is perhaps time to return and see if we can't do the thing with Pum. That's kind of confusingly worded. The note next to Pum says here to stay. And what it means is Pum will continue to be available here as a patient. She absolutely does not stay here. She goes with you when you leave, and you can still access her. Enemies on cleared tile effects take pure damage. This is actually kind of interesting. It's also super cheap. Yeah, let's grab that for sure. Spreading. I do have a lot of resources. You know what? I don't have a specific use for that right now, but we'll take it. Ooh. Okay, one of these with a bonus effect. I think that's... I mean, anything that looks even kind of good, I think it's a good idea to grab. Oh, this has a discipline cost reduction. Because at this point, we have money. We have the money for the whatever. So actually, out of curiosity... A percentage discipline cost reduction applied to by a large margin our most expensive skill. Okay, it's still not quite enough, but the difference between applying that poison and this poison is 500 discipline. That's pretty significant. That is the highest value that effect is going to get to. Bonus damage on targets affected by intoxicate might well happen. Our totem does intoxicate, and bonus damage if there are no enemies adjacent to you, rolling really, really poorly on those effects. And then honestly, like, the damage on this is really bad too. It needs this would really benefit from some rerolls, except for that last effect. But unfortunately, we are out of the little face thing because I did a bunch of, you can see your still catalysts. I did a bunch of rerolling to lock in traits on stuff, and like I said, a lot of improving the small things. So I guess let's give this a shot. I think there was a chance we could have gotten it done before. And I think our strategy is a little bit refined here. We know how to run this boss's behaviors at least a little bit better than I have in the past, right? I've definitely made some pretty significant errors. That said, phase 2 seems like a nightmare. I don't know how we're going to get through phase 2 once he goes into skirt mode and starts doing that massive reality scratch. All right, you. Enough of that. Okay, come on now.
Guilty.
That's what they call me. All right, so my inclination is to like throw this out far enough that it's going to be a threat to him, but it's still going to hit me. Maybe I should have taken one less step, because if I had taken one less step, I could have hunger shocked this turn as well. Let's just get this down. Get the ranger established. You can see the base effect of the ranger. I swapped out the base for one that has like +4 range on it, and with all of our other range increases, I can actually just put it like anywhere I want all the time now, which is pretty fun. Yep, I spaced things out. I did improve our heal as well. It now removes negative effects and also gives regen, which is helpful. Okay, so he's about to do a Cull Those Close. This is not a good time to summon the hunger. I probably do want to get the rogue up. Let's put the rogue up like over here. Well, I guess to this side. So when the totem goes off, it's going to create a bunch of spaces where movement is free. An interesting thing that I've noted about these is that the free movement effect on the space is consumed when I walk over it, so that we can't just like walk back and forth infinitely. But it's not consumed when the summons walk over it, so they get to run around the web of the totem for free permanently. Like it's actually a very powerful effect. So I'm going to heal here. We're going to go ahead and just hit the narco dart, and we're going to step aside. Trying to make sure the cull those close doesn't hit. Oh, I guess I stepped out of the barrier, didn't I? Maybe not the best open. Perhaps I am a fool. But I didn't remember exactly how big the effect was. Okay, we're hitting the boss with it at least. Alright, so we got a little bit of regen. Yep, you can see there all that free movement. Big deal, big deal. Alright, I'm going to find myself personally devastated. Here's all that regen. Beautiful stuff. This costs no AP. So I was going to teleport, but actually we can do a lot of movement for free here. And remember, the majority of the web will get replaced. The tiles that I pick up are just going to get laid back down by the horror rod. So let's move around to here. Drop the hunger shock. Greetings, a hunger. Little chestnut buckler ripple for everybody. This has not changed at all. And then, like, do I just throw a punch or do I step? I kind of think I'm going to step because I want to be in position. Well, again, I'm going to just lay down a ton of stuff, right? Like, I guess I'm going to step to make it slightly harder for a reality scratch to hit absolutely everybody. But we're going to get some real good damage on here. This is going to be a strong turn. Oh, right, the stun. The stun landed. So I didn't need to be worried about the reality scratch. I could have thrown the punch for free. Unfortunately, this turn, the stun is going to mean that there's no way to get the honesty applied. Your mark is about to run out. I do think it's probably worth reapplying. Hit you with the lost missile. Probably worth getting that up. And then I can step all the way over to here for actually free. We're still regenerating. I'm definitely feeling more powerful. How's everybody doing? It would probably be worth it to just go ahead and spend the whole 3 extra AP. Unfortunately, one thing I have learned that is a little annoying, I think, about the way this the web of free movement works is that if you run out of AP on your turn, you will not be allowed to take the free moves. If you run out of AP, your turn ends immediately. So I have to do like this to get the AP spent so that they can actually take their turns, which is a shame. But I definitely don't want to end my turn down here. And I know I'm not getting barriered, but this turn it doesn't matter so much. Okay, you hit pretty hard. I think this guy's an okay addition to the crew. I don't know if he's honestly, like... It might be the case that he is not better than a second rogue. That totally might be. He does have about 1 billion health, I guess, which is certainly something. Okay, call those aligned is really interesting. So we want to line ourselves up with the summoned abandon. Unfortunately, Call Those Aligned takes place after all of our guys move, so it's hard to know exactly where they'll be. It's hard to know where is going to be free. If I move to here, I have enough AP to throw out the sting. I'd really like to stay close to my close to this area, but I think it's worth moving out. Yeah, alright. I guess we're just like throwing punches. Alright, my punch has 3 range. Yeah, that's something. I'm doing like 1% of this thing's HP with every shot I throw, but it gives our pals more AP. So I guess it's worthwhile. Alright, I'll try not to... Yeah, look at how far we all get to move. The flow is doing some really, really excellent work. Also, it seems to have no... there seems to be no maximum duration on it. If I have to move the totem or whatever, it just sticks around forever. Oh, buddy, what are you doing? It's like you want to suffer. Alright, that hurts. Yep, and here comes the huge reality scratch. That's annoying, moving the totem away from combat. Okay. We may as well throw the mark back up on the new target. And then I think it probably does make sense to set our totem back up in a new spot. This corruption seems very bad. There. Yeah, so I'm a little annoyed that the it always seems quite unpredictable if you have 4 summons already, what happens when you put down a new summon, like which one it takes out, because it should have taken out this summon, right? First of all, I would think that it's like obvious that it should prefer same type, but secondly, this was the first thing we summoned, wasn't it? So if it's doing it by age, then that also seems like a winner. But no, it doesn't work that way for whatever reason. I think this space is safe. I'm just going to throw a punch. Gosh, I think it's actually... I'm a little worried about how likely it is that we're just going to die here. Alright, taking pretty solid chunks out of him now. The maturity's really kicking in. Ah, we're so close. He's almost dead. How much damage is this? 1100. It's mean. Yep, and the lethal reality scratch because there's no way to avoid that. He just gets to deal however much damage to he wants to deal all the time. That's fine. They didn't quite die to the poison damage, which is very annoying. Is this totem down here? This totem down here has 5 turns left on its fleeting. I don't know who will get unsummoned if I summon a new ranger. I would like to have a new ranger. Yeah, all right. It is not even trying to make sense a little bit. Okay, that worked out as well as it possibly could have. If I step in here and shield people... I'm going to get reality scratched twice. Trying to figure out where's the safest place to stand while that happens. Because like obviously we want to bait the boss into standing in the honesty, right? If I move to like here, he has to get in the honesty to attack me. And then we'll throw up the heal plus regen. And also I will have 1 more AP than I thought I was going to have. Oh, that's right. The with the upgrades, the heal restores an AP to me if it clears any effects off of me. So I don't really want to do anything. Everybody's at 8. Yeah, I'm actually good. The boss is not marked anymore. That's the thing we should probably fix. But the team's doing good work. Maybe I should have just run all the way down here for the barriers. Okay, a deception is scary. Yeah, you being in the honesty area, I think, is not going to matter very much if the apparition is up. Call those close is rough. That's a rough one. How are you going to just summon 8,000 extra HP? So obviously we can use the flow here to get ourselves over to the general area of I get to here on 6. I get to here on 5. It's really frustrating. We can't quite get the mark on. But I think I want to be standing in the honesty area, right? So I think I take this move, throw up the wasp missile, which itself is an okay amount of damage. And then I don't really want to move out of I guess we'll just move within the area to make sure our dudes all have maximum AP. Yeah, the problem is this thing hit him while he was marked so many times that it gets to live forever. It's wild that you can't just summon something new over it. Okay, the brittle applies through the shield. That's really important. Oh, that's really bad. Okay, cull those aligned. Cull those aligned is rough. My team is definitely like working hard to be aligned with the enemy. Maybe I'm just gonna have to deal with burning out somebody. Like, go to here maybe. There are invisible enemies in the room, we're told. There's also, visible enemies. Mostly it's visible enemies, is the problem. So I notice he doesn't end up with multiple stacks of the poison, even though we have now hit him with that thing twice. So yeah, I'm not entirely clear. Maybe it can only apply multiple copies of the same debuff when they're applied by the same skill? Because that node in the memory tree does mention that you can now apply multiple copies of the same debuff in the same skill. Alright, this worked out really well. Obviously, it hurts me a lot, but we will absolutely onk. Two more turns before I could reliably summon anything else. So I for sure want to drop the damage on you. And then we could just like throw a whole bunch of punches, but I don't know that that makes sense. Yeah, it sucks having to feed the boss so much AP because I need my team to be online. We can't really do anything about that fact. I'm gonna come down here and I'm going to shield you. And I'm gonna punch the boss until you have full AP, I guess. Alright, good stuff. So I think we're gonna phase the main dude here before I die, I think. Maybe I need to prefer having the totem up over having everything else up. Because, like, the totem does objectively do a lot of work. That's such bullshit. The fact that it goes to from a 3-tile square to a, yeah, it doesn't matter. The Yonk wouldn't do anything. We lose anyway. To a 5-tile a 5-tile cone means that in order to make it so that he can't hit you and Pum's wants with the same thing, you have to be at least 3 tiles out. There have to be 3 tiles between you and the edge of the honesty area, which means that the honesty effect may as well not exist. All right, there's always an Ankh available, always buy the Ankh. What's the poison 2 effect that we have a poison 2. This is definitely better, yeah. Yeah, I think we just have to prefer having a rod up all the time because, like, the periodic stuns, the free movement off of flow, they're just too valuable. They're just too valuable. And the barrier obviously helps a bunch too. All right, so we must always stay close to a totem. And if he moves away from the totem, we have to accept that sometimes we are just not going to have our full complement of damage output, but like we need the totem's non-negotiable. It is really frustrating to have to like run around the room to fight his boss summons, the fact that he summons additional bosses. Okay, so 3. Yeah, I'm gonna move 1. We're gonna cast this. Here, I guess, so that I get barrier first. And we'll also establish the hunger shock right away. Alright. Pretty classy. Get our first good stun off. Rogue and Ranger. Ranger can stand over here, I guess. It really sucks that I wasn't thinking about like the AP position I'd be in. I can't quite mark him this turn, which is a shame. So do I want to I want to put down I'm getting Kolthos close. So I have to go all the way to the edge, right? You have 625 HP, but you have a heal. So yeah, it's like, this is really frustrating because when I stop moving, I guess I'm going to go to here. I'm going to cast and just barely be able to put the Fragilize on him. And then the Kolthos, the Kolthos close isn't happening. That's right, we're good. And I couldn't get close enough to do the other thing anyway. All right, and now we all get to lay in the punches, and we got to take real strong advantage of this early violence phase. So notice his unyielding only lasts 4 turns. We got a demolish for the totem that lowers the disable immunity that it grants, which I feel like is absolutely huge. All right, so for free, we move into marking range. We hit him again with the deeps. For free, I move to here and throw down the shield. And then I can move up to here for free. I can move back here for free. I guess I'm going to move to the position where it's a little harder for him to reality scratch everybody. And see, like, we can do a move like that, where I run out of AP in the middle of the move, and the move will still complete. Your turn doesn't end the instant you're at 0, but it ends whenever you would get control while you're at 0. Okay, so we have... Oh no, that's 2 stacks of Intoxicate. That was always possible. Yeah, maybe I just don't understand how that node works. We might have to mess with it a bit. Okay, no big surprise there. He tried to throw it on the far side from me, but the good news is the flow is going to get me over there. And it's going to do the same for several of our folks. And then I'm going to get cold, which is not a big deal. Buffs going on you and move to like here so that the call will hit this guy and hope that our friends move to the far side of the enemy like that. It's good. You keep refreshing that little network there. We're coming back. It's nice that the you're gonna get tapped a little bit. It's fine. You got a ton of HP. Yeah, trying to get the brittle stacks up on this guy seems like it's probably just not worth the effort, honestly. Doesn't seem reliably doable at all. Ow. That's really annoying. Yep. So, alright, I'm going to summon an extra rogue. I have 6 AP. This guy's actually really close to dead. I think I'm just going to walk up to here and throw down the heal. I have the option of teleport to here and heal and wasp missile. And since we're building up damage every time I use the skill, that's probably better. I wish I could teleport to this side, but we'll take it. Actually, here's a question. Do I go here in the hopes of hitting this guy with it if that guy dies before Koldo's line goes off? Because he totally might. I'm actually going to do that. Right, heal is important, and then just contribute my little bit here. My crew's out here. Yeah. My crew's out here doing good work. This totem is keeping my my ranger happy. Call yourself. Interesting. He usually doesn't do that. Okay, well, so here's the question. Do we want to set up a second ranger, or do I want to set up a second totem? Our totem over there is actually pretty low and definitely going to get annihilated soon. I'm going to put up a new totem. Here, I suppose. We're going to retag you because it is time for the retag. And then I'm just going to step out as much as I would like to shoot the missiles. Now, one thing I did verify, and I didn't end up putting it into play at all. Both disarm and stun do this thing where they create a debuff that makes the boss immune to them, and I was concerned that they were on the same debuff. So having a reliable stun would make your reliable disarm not really effective, or vice versa. It turns out not to be the case. They have different debuffs. They do not give the boss immunity One does not give the boss immunity to the other. So that's very helpful. That means that we actually could run a disarm, and maybe it's worth it for this fight. Rebuilding some stuff a little bit to run a disarm effect. So let's cross a tremendous amount of distance on free movement tiles. It really does suck that this boss gets to teleport everywhere for free. Like, it should have to walk. If it's going to make us walk this much, it should have to walk. Okay. So... I don't know for sure what will happen if I summon a new thing. It will probably like unsummon the ranger for no reason or something like that. It will probably do whatever is most hostile to us. So let's not do it. It will instead just move over here, snap you, and then honestly, I might just move back for a barrier. You're at 8. You do need me to do a full 3-point move. Yeah, but I don't want to... So I need to put myself... I need to do a 2-point move that puts me in a position where... Because I don't get to, like, draw my move with any precision. I don't really want to come in this far. It's so weird how it's like it's not even trying to optimize either. Because this should be a 2 AP move as well. Right? Move 2 and then get onto the flow and... Yeah, I don't know. It's very strange. I guess it's okay for me to end here. Like, I can be on a tile that's not flow, because the thing will... Yeah. For some reason, I was thinking I needed to end on a free movement tile, but I absolutely don't. And so, like, the game doesn't try to optimize their movements either for the flow, and I think that's really, really annoying. Because, like, the ranger should absolutely have been able to shoot the deception this turn, right? It could have just run across this line and ended up over here and then taken one step and shot the ranger, and it chose not to. It chose to do a bad job. And I don't think that should be a thing. It just shouldn't. It shouldn't be a possibility that your allies choose to play poorly. So right now we have one rod that's in a really bad position, one ranger. I could just summon ranger rogue and we'll see what happens. That's 5 of my AP already. Maybe I don't want to do all of that right away because I definitely want to get the mark up, right? So maybe it's like... Move to here, rogue over there, then apply the mark to make sure that we're getting the fleeting ticks rolled backwards. You probably don't have a ton of fleeting because I think you didn't hit the boss very much. Okay, that only hits the enemy, that's fine. This does take an awfully long time to cool down, and that is harsh. Here's the question. Do we summon another ranger, or do we wait to put down another rod? Because the rods are very helpful. Maybe I'd kind of take it easy for a turn. The thing is, if I give him 4 AP, he reality scratches me. Yeah, all right. There's nothing really to be done about it. Okay, so right now I'm taking 1 reality scratch. If I want to throw down the wasp missile, that'll make it 2 reality scratches. probably just take the one, I guess. I am reducing the amount of damage that my team is dealing to the boss, but the damage race is not turning out in my favor, actually. Yep. That's exactly what I thought he would do. Okay, so let's put you down in a position where you do some decent work. I guess, like, here's good, right? Obviously, I'm going to be moving. Although I have my teleport, so I could teleport to here. So maybe it makes sense to put the totem in a place where it's not aligned with that. But I don't want the totem doing that in a place where it's aligned with that either. So I guess, like, here? Teleport me to there. Heal. Yeah. I'm debating. Maybe it makes more sense to reapply the mark since the mark is about to run out. And then heal, and then just like step downward one so that I don't blow up my new ranger. I mean, okay, like now that the summon's out, let's do the heal. The heal is a part of this no matter what. I die without it, so it kind of has to be. I'm gonna. Sorry, I don't mean to be indecisive. It's just it's challenging to know what to do here. So you're at full, you're at full, you're at full. You're only at 5. If I step down and I don't do anything else, he doesn't even get to do 2 reality scratches. Although reality scratch plus call those aligned might kill me. Yeah, I might just be dead anyway, actually. Hard to say. Let's find out. Okay, that's pretty close. We'll finish the job. And start working on the boss. And that means I am, in fact, aligned with the enemies I want to shoot. That's fun. Take this, apparition. Oh, and apparently an invisible enemy. This is going to be... Oh, okay, he reality scratched that guy. Okay. So, he's gonna take a stun here, which is a big deal. Another invisible enemy dies, and it basically, like, the deal is, I think the deal is we have to deal as much damage as we possibly can this turn. We have very little time until I'm dead. We have to apply the mark. That's stupid. I should have summoned first. I'm gonna make it a rogue, actually, because we need to focus on just raw damage output. Is the totem over here gone? Yeah, okay, so we're... I guess I have a buff that tells me. Okay. And then... Yeah, it's just raw damage output this turn because you are stunned. We do not need to worry about anything else. Just do all of the damage. Great work from the flow. It's not going to be enough. I do have just enough awareness to onking that. So we have a little bit more time on that as well. And I think, yeah, like I just want to, I'm in a position where he can't damage Pum's once. I think we just want to like roll damage as hard as possible, right? He can fuck up my whole team. I don't know that there's very much that can be done about that. So I can put up thorns and get a little bit of pure damage in on him. And while doing so, I can thorn somebody else. But I'm trying to figure out, like, is there a place to stand where he becomes unable to hit absolutely everybody else? Because I can disengage pretty seriously with the combination of how much flow is on the board and how much free movement is laying around. But I don't want to disrupt the damage dealing too much, because what we want to do here is we want to deal a bunch of damage, take lethal, which is completely unavoidable at this stage in the fight, then onk up and deal a bunch more damage and hopefully kill him in that amount of time, right? I guess if I end the turn right now, all he can do is... Where's my... Okay, you don't get to do anything. You both get to take a swing. I guess I just end the turn right now? Everybody's gaining cooldown time because he's marked. Or is gaining fleeting time. There's some stockpiling going on. All the boss is going to do is stockpile. In fact, the boss didn't get to stockpile because I didn't realize that worked like that. If the boss is dazed at the beginning of the turn, he loses 2 AP and doesn't get to play the game. That's interesting. We do need to reapply the narco dart, I think. Well, I mean... Everybody's got lots of time. Maybe we don't. Maybe I just discovered kind of an important exploit. The rod and the ranger won't get to fire every turn, but these two get to fire every turn. He died to... Oh, he's standing in a darkness pool, I think. That's right, I can actually resummon him without disrupting the plan too much, because there's a free movement tile here. And he only costs 2 AP. So we just do that and then we hit end turn. Oh, except when the daze wears off, the boss is allowed to do stuff. Well, okay. I goofed, but at this point we can take a full turn and just kill the boss from there. Oh right, I forgot he has a cheat. If he detects cheese, he counter cheeses you. Indeed. So is it worth resummoning at all? I don't think so. I think we just go for the throat. He's got 1700 health. I guess the question is, what does go for the throat even mean? Because I can't... He's about to lose his unyielding. Honestly, I probably just want to put you right back where you were. So now you're on 5, which means if I move away, in theory, you only get to reality swipe me once. I mean, it's also true standing, but you know, if I move away, he doesn't get to, he'll have to spend an AP on a teleport. Like, he shouldn't be able to do lethal. If I heal myself, he'll be able to hit me twice. I think it's okay, though. I think I gained enough AP to make that worth it, and I do want the Horror Rod firing this turn. Yeah, so I take free flow to move away, so he has to teleport for the hit, which he can't afford to do. You get in here and you chunk him pretty good. Okay, no, that actually was lethal. I didn't think he was going to do enough. Okay, we looted some weird Inner Darkness gear. And thus responsibility finally overcomes fear. Is that what happened? I hope I won't be seeing you again. Well, you know where to find me. I suggest you keep your distance. But isn't where to find you in my own self-doubt? So that's what I'm supposed to be keeping my distance from? Whenever you would spend awareness you don't have, gain a stack of darkness instead. Whenever instability overflow would trigger. Wow, that's really something. That's quite powerful. Hard to imagine taking off the abnegation mantle for it, though. We have some gauntlets of inner darkness, which do an amazing amount of damage. Hitting yourself or an ally grants 1 stack of darkness, and you restore 1 AP on kill per 2 stacks of darkness. That's fascinating. Plays in a really interesting way with the robes. You and your allies gain 15% attack power per stack of darkness, and you leave a trail of corruption. Probably the easiest way to get your darkness back up. Yeah, those are legitimately really interesting items. So, we have defeated the thing? Iris! Palm, are you okay? I'm fine. I woke up 12 hours before you did. Who writes like this? I woke up 12 hours before you did. No side effects. Thank God. Still holding a solid hatred for those who'd give up on their own life, too. I knew I could trust you. I knew you'd understand. It was a clever ploy, and I, again, am embarrassed that Iris figured out what was going on before I did. How did you figure it out? Well, engineers love a good pattern. Moral took terminal transposition too lightly, a true nihilist. You couldn't believe that was the right way forward. The old addict was obviously lying and self-destructive. You knew he needed warmth, not oblivion. Leo was strong enough to face his woes without transposition. You couldn't say no because you were afraid of repeating the past. Carrig, the broken father and daughter, on the other hand. You thought they deserved their way out, that they'd thought it through, and nothing bad happened then. So why didn't you say anything? Transposing me had to be a moral conundrum. I don't think that thing would have shown up if you were 100% sure about my intentions. That thing... I think I'm the one who hurt these people. Well, does it matter? What? Of course it does! How could it not? You, or something else through you, you did have a part in hurting them, as did I. You think we should stop it, transposition? That's not really, this is almost a non sequitur. You just, changing the subject. You also had a part in helping many, many more. Hurt. It's almost all that's left. You're fighting for humanity in a soulless apocalypse. Maybe don't be so hard on yourself. Giving up. Would that be deserved punishment or shameful relief? No, I've grown wary of the easy path forward. We keep at it. With all the integrity and effort we can put into it. We make sure we don't hurt anyone else. Ever. And what if it comes back? It won't. We're well acquainted now. I won't open that door again. But... what do you mean... okay. The line of dialogue where she's like, I'm weary of the easy path. We're not going to do that anymore. like, there's this critical question. There's a couple of critical questions at the heart of the idea that's posed by the technology. And the game is suddenly acting as though we have resolved those questions when we definitely fucking haven't. And I still think that, like, I still think Iris was definitely wrong about the father and daughter. And it was very much based on, like, the idea that, oh yeah, they quote unquote deserve their rest, was based on a completely arbitrary logical leap that she made that's based on, like, literally nothing. I think the story is just factually wrong. This is really strange because, like, for this to be where the credits are, it feels a lot to me like they were working on the thing and then they ran out of time and money and they just said, okay, let's just slap a boss fight and an ending on wherever we are right now. Right? There's no rising and fall. Like, it's a story that the contour of the story is happening and then it just stops. We're right where the river Arteris meets the sea. Always heard life on the islands was tough. We know tough. Well, there's our next stop. Okay. Endgame content, which holds unprecedented challenge and rewards. The idea of endgame content in a single-player game that's, like, until this point, I would describe this as a narratively heavy game, right? Like, it's science fiction. It's doing a good science fiction thing, and so it's a lot about the questions that, like, for the mechanics to exist disconnected from... I agree the game's fun, but the mechanics existing separate from the plot is not really the kind of game this is. Like, it was all one thing for a while, and then it's like, yeah, we're done with story now. Just, like, go keep playing game or whatever. I think this is not... I think I'm not very happy with this. I wasn't expecting it to end, so I'm a little flat-footed. We never did get a mastermind key or anything. Yeah, okay. So, like, the amount of tree that's still available, the very, very small number of locks that you can break before the end of the game, and the fact that, like, there's an entire quality of key that doesn't show up during the quote-unquote main storyline, really makes it feel even more like they had planned out sort of a mechanical arc, and we're not at the end of that yet, right? There's still new qualities of synapses that were being shown. Tier 4 is definitely not the highest kind of thing. We're still getting a lot of tier 3s and tier 4s. And they planned all that out. They kind of worked out, like, the mechanical length of the game, and then they were working on the story part afterward, and eventually kind of ran out of juice or steam or whatever, and we're just like, fuck it. And so you have this thing where, like, it's like a cake where the whole bottom layer exists, and then the second layer only extends over about 60% of the cake and just ends. And I mean, it's still cake. Like, I don't think it's bad, but it does sort of, like, a lot of the praise I had for it was kind of, like, provisional and based on the idea that it was going to continue having an interesting story that would then have an ending. It's like, you know, when you watch the first season of a TV show and it's asking all these questions, you're like, this is rad. And then if it doesn't answer those questions, you have to kind of go back and go, okay, well, then I think it's not rad, actually. And this one's not so much about not answering questions. I know that's the way I phrased it, but it's like, it had interesting issues to wrestle with, and then it just kind of threw them aside, and it was like, well, we're done. We're done wrestling. We won. And everybody, including the ref, is like, did you? I don't remember that happening. And the game's like, nope, it's over. And then the credits roll. I'm going to stop talking now. This is going to be the end of this episode. I don't know if I am really interested in continuing to play this game just for the mechanics. And I almost think that, like, I think I would be more likely to be like, hell yeah, let's just go on, if there had not been a story at all. If the mechanics had been the same and there had not been a story at all, I think the mechanics of the game are interesting and fun enough that it would have dragged me in, and I would have felt pulled forward still at this moment, because we haven't completed the mechanical arc of the game. But the thing that actually happened, I think it's interesting how it does kind of make me feel like, maybe that's enough of that. That's gonna be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know how you're feeling about it in the comments. And there may be more. This might be the last episode of this series, or maybe we'll come back and see about those islands and our extremely unearned self-confidence. Or, you'll come back and there'll be something else here. In either case, we'll see you then. And thank you so much for watching and putting up with me being like this.